Hello, Yoga Club yogis. Welcome to today's practice, coming to you from my backyard and with our dog Kiko enjoying herself. Today's practice is going to be some heart opening postures and some energetic back bends, really looking to open up into our heart space, and then ideas of courage, finding the wisdom of our own hearts, and finding some gratitude, being thankful for everything that we have, and knowing that if we can find some joy in our hearts, we can heal any moment. So, hope that sounds enticing to you. You won't need any props, and we'll see you soon. Hey, Keeks. So starting by finding yourself a comfortable seat, cross-legged or kneeling, resting your hands onto your thighs, and taking a few moments to find a nice long spine, grounding your sitting bones down into the mat or onto the heels if you're kneeling. Following your way up your spine, creating a little bit of space in between each vertebra. Visualizing your head just lightly floating on top of your spine. And find your shoulders melting down away from your ears. See if you can find a nice broad collarbone and openness across the front of your chest. And then take a few breaths just to arrive on your mat. Maybe listening into the sounds around you. Maybe giving yourself a little scan from head to toe, checking in with any sensations in the body, anywhere feeling a little tight or tense, anywhere feeling a little more easeful, just noticing. And then starting to shift your attention to find your breath moving in your body. And just follow your breath in and out of your nose. Not controlling it, just moving with it. And let each breath start to deepen. Finding the fullness of each inhale and the release of each exhale. Letting each exhale guide you a little deeper into your practice. Taking a few more breaths, long, nourishing breath. Working today with an intention of finding our own courage or tuning into being more grateful for all that we already have. Bring your hands together at your heart space, thumbs against your sternum, and take a few breaths, just calling to mind 3 things that you're grateful for. And letting these feelings of gratitude flow through your body throughout the practice, tuning into your heart space and all of the wisdom of your own heart. When you're ready, gently releasing your hands down from your heart space, and we come to sit up in tabletop. Knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders, and a nice flat back before we ripple through into our cow, letting the belly drop, letting your heart reach to the front of the mat, gaze up. And exhale, gaze to the belly, round through the shoulder blades, tucking the tailbone, and rippling back through to your cow, let the belly drop. Chest forward, shoulders down away from ears, exhaling, tucking the tailbone, pressing into your palms, doming through the shoulder blades, rolling through, inhale, exhale to tuck the tailbone, press into the palms, inhaling, ripple and roll through the spine, exhaling, middle of the spine, pressing to the sky. Come back to your neutral tabletop, bring the left hand into the midline, thread the needle twist, reach the right arm up to the sky, open the chest up to the sky, and thread the back of the right palm all the way through behind the left wrist, choosing where to place the left hand, maybe just in front of you, maybe reaching the left hand back towards the front of the mat, or if you'd like to take a bind, send the left arm up to the sky, and then let it catch a hold of the right inner thigh. Just taking a few breaths in this twist. Knowing throughout the practice you are your own best guide, so take the variations, the modifications that feel good for you. Gently coming out, bringing your left hand back alongside you, peeling the right arm up to the sky, gaze up. And placing the right hand down to the mat, a little more into the midline. Left arm sweeps to the sky, gaze to the left hand, and then thread it all the way through onto your mat. Finding a place for the right palm, what feels good. Maybe extending it to the front of your mat. Maybe reaching the right arm to the sky and then finding the bind, a hold of the left inner thigh. Finding something to be grateful for in each of these postures, something to thank your body for, knowing our bodies are always doing the best that they can. Peeling your way out, bringing the right arm back to the mat, stretch the left arm up, open to the sky. Bring both hands back to the mat. And adjust yourself into Anahata or mounting heart pose. Keep the hips above the knees as you start to melt your heart, your chest down towards the mat. You might bring the forehead to touch the mat, maybe the chin. Keep feeling your palms grounded. Any tension in the shoulders, take your hands a little bit wider. This is a gentle back bend. First heart opener, just encouraging your heart to drop down towards the mat, breath at a time. coming out. Bring some weight back into your heart, hands. In traditional child's pose now. Knees together, shoulders hugging over the front of the knees, forehead to the mat, or maybe a book or a block if the head's away from the mat. Just giving yourself a little hug here. Come back out to our tabletop shape. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Feel strong, engage through the shoulders. Hover your knees just away from the mat so the toes are tucked under, your knees are hovering just away from the mat. Really firing up the core now, starting to strengthen the core, keeping the crown of your head reaching forward. Holding here. And then press up and back to your downward facing dog. Find the hips lifting high. Breath. Inhaling, ripple forward, plank. Exhaling, hover your knees just away from the mat and then press yourself back, downward facing dog. Let's keep rolling through this. Inhaling forward to plank, shoulders over wrists. Exhaling, hover the knees, press into the palms, hips lifting high, down dog. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling, hover the knees, press into the palms, chest pressing back to the thighs. Inhaling forward, exhaling, hover the knees, finding the core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward, feel strength through the arms. Exhale, back to your down dog. Inhaling forward. Exhaling. An option to lower the knees if you like. Otherwise, keeping in your plank, you're going to start to touch the right knee to the outside of the right elbow and then the left knee to the outside of the left elbow. So you can do this from hands and knees, otherwise staying in your plank, alternating from side to side, right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow. Really want to build some strength through our core before we move into some back bends today. After you've done about 10, moving back into your downward facing dog. And we'll ripple forward to plank. Coming down for a challenge, forearm plank, lowering down onto the elbows, keeping the hands spread wide, pressing out of the forearms, out of the elbows, keeping the spine in one line. Again, modification if you need, lower your knees to the mat. Otherwise, holding here, press out of the elbows, press out of the forearms, draw the belly in, strengthening your core. A few more breaths. And releasing down to Sphinx. Drop your knees to the mat. Let the front of the hips be heavy into the mat. Bringing the elbows slightly forward at the shoulders. And feel your shoulders draw back. Feel your heart trying to lengthen to the front of your mat. The pubic bone just pressing down into the floor. The legs nice and long. Pressing up and back to find puppy pose, tucking all 10 toes underneath, keeping your arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Trying to find some nice length through your spine, tailbone reaching back towards your heels. And then lifting this up into your downward facing dog. Calling this intention, remembering today to be grateful. Walking your way forward to your squat, heels in, toes turning out, bringing the elbows to the inside of the knees, hands to your heart space. sit the tailbone down. A few breaths here, just opening into your hips. And release your hands to the mat. Heel toe your feet back to Tadasana. Halfway lift, inhaling, hands maybe to the shins. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Ground into your feet, bend the knees as much as you need as you send your arms up to the sky. Upward salute, gazing up. Exhaling, hands to heart space. Pausing. Exhale, let the hands float down. Let's take half moon, sweeping the arms up, interlacing the fingers. Cross your thumbs, but keep your index fingers extended long. Bring your upper body up and over to the right. Press your hips to the left. Keep an even weight through your feet. Keep bringing that left side of your rib cage back, pressing the right side of your rib cage through towards the front of your mat. Inhale to center, and exhale up and over to the other side. Upper body reaching to the left, hips pressing to the right. Finding a beautiful side stretch, opening into the sides of the ribs. Getting some space through the intercostal muscles. Inhaling, rise back up. Exhale, interlace your hands behind the lower back. Inhale, puff your chest to the sky, gaze up. Exhale, bend the knees deeply. Let your belly fold onto your thighs. Let your head drop to your shins, knuckles reaching to the front of the mat. Releasing the hands down to the lower back, down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, tabletop with the back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, bend the knees as much as you need. Rising up, gaze up. Exhale, hands down through your heart space, Tadasana. Inhale up, this time taking a hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Reaching up and over into half moon. So the right hand's holding the back of the left wrist, and you're using that grip to help draw the left arm up and over to the right side of the room. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, just switching the grip. Inhale, lengthen both sides of the body. Exhale, upper body moving over to the left, pressing your hips to the right. Some deep breaths, filling into the right lung. Inhale to center. Exhale, let the hands interlace behind the lower back. Draw the knuckles down, gaze up. Exhale, bending knees, compressing belly to thighs, forehead towards the shins. Maybe finding some more length up the back of the legs, shifting your weight forward into your toes. Listening to your body. Release the hands towards the lower back, down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, long backs of the legs, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to reach and rise tall, palms touching. Draw your hands down, heart space. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Release the hands down. Let's flow. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, stepping the feet back, plank, all the way down to your low plank, lowering the knees to the mat, belly to the mat. This is the first variation. Inhaling to cobra. Exhaling, pressing up the body in one line, knees on the mat, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, step your feet between the hands, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, rise up, gaze up. Exhale, hands down through your heart space, feeling free to use that variation again. Otherwise, inhale, upward salute. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, maybe you jump the feet back to low plank. Maybe coming to upward facing dog, tops of the feet, only thing on the mat with the hands, downward facing dog. Inhaling, bend the knees, gaze forward, step or jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise up. Drawing the hands down. Using whatever variation feels good in your body. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, maybe you can jump all the way to your low chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, knees bend, gaze forward, step or jump to the front of the mat. Exhaling, folding down. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, hands down. Pausing at your heart space. When we carry gratitude and joy in our hearts, we can cure any moment. Let's flow. Flutter open the eyes, reach up. Flowing with gratitude, flowing with an attention of your heart space. Folding to chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We add on to our flow. Inhale, right leg, three-legged dog, high, knee to nose. Exhale, inhale, three-legged dog. You can do this from your knees too if you need. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen the leg back. Exhale, forward, stepping the foot between your hands as you exhale, low lunge, Vinyasa. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. As we exhale, we're going to take a hold of opposite elbows. Inhaling, drawing the chest up towards the sky. Exhaling, leaning back, gentle back bend. Really looking to zip the inner thighs towards one another, zip the pelvic floor up, and just find this gentle opening through the upper back. Extend the arms to the sky. Exhaling, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Left side. Oh no, we'll Vinyasa first. Always an option to hold in down dog or taking your flow. Ready for the left side. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Kiss your knee. Inhale, reach the leg high and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, draw that left thigh high. Exhale, step the left foot through, low lunge, untuck the right toes. Inhaling, reaching the arms to the sky. Exhaling, holding opposite elbows. Inhale, draw the heart to the sky. Open through the front of the body. Leaning back gently, opening into the front of the right thigh, front of the right hip, front of the chest. And then we extend the arms back. Vinyasa. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Vinyasa. Inhaling to plank, exhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You can hold in your down dog or option to always take some rest in extended child's pose, knees wide, forehead to the mat. Reconnect with your breath, some deep breaths filling up your belly. If you're in your extended child's pose, lifting back up to down dog, we bend the knees, step or jump forward, halfway lift, fold. Inhaling, rooting into the feet, rising up. Exhaling, hands through heart space. Tadasana. Inhale, gaze up, open heart to sky. Exhale, bow forward, dropping forehead to shins. Inhale, extension through the spine. Exhale, maybe down to chaturanga or onto the belly, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, plank crunch, knee to nose. Inhale, reach your right heel back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach the leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, draw the right thigh towards your chest. Exhale, plant forward, this time crescent lunge. Inhale, sweep both arms up to the sky. Exhale, catch a hold of opposite elbows. Inhale, lift the chest up to the sky. Exhaling, gentle back bend here. Keep some stability of that right knee over the front right ankle. Maybe heel toeing the right foot wider if you need. Both hips still level. lifting up, using the hold of the elbows to help lengthen through the sides of the body. And then extend your arms to the sky. Bring the hands back to touch. Exhale, hands to heart space. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, revolved crescent. Hook the left elbow if you can to the outside of the right knee. Inhaling and exhaling, maybe opening the arms. If this feels too deep, bring the left hand to the inside of the right foot, planted on the mat. Spreading your wings. Modification also, you could lower the left knee down to the mat. Bringing the hands back down, step back, downward facing dog. Holding there or taking your vinyasa. Always inhaling into your cobra or upward facing dog and exhaling back into your downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, left heel to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, press that left heel back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back. Exhale, rocking forward, pressing out of the palms. Inhale, draw that left thigh high, stepping the foot between your hands, sweep the arms back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, catch a hold of your elbows. Inhale, lift through the sides of the body, gentle back bend through the upper spine, heart lifting up. Gaze to the sky, keep that back leg lengthened, pressing into the ball of the right foot. Extend the arms to the sky. Moving into revolved crescent. Exhale, hands together, draw them down to your heart space. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, and then as you exhale, hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Holding here, or maybe opening the arms up, right hand dropping down towards the mat, left arm reaching up to the sky. Finding some nice rotation through the spine, keep hugging the left thigh bone back towards you. Coming back to down dog. Optional vinyasa. Strong line in your plank. Shoulders drawing back in your cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Or extended child's pose if you need. Calling your intention, practicing gratitude. It's a really effective way to get in touch with our souls as we practice gratitude, our ego stepping out of the way. If you're in extended child's pose, rise back up into your down dog. Float to the front of your mat, stepping or jumping, finding your forward fold, rising tall, hands back down. Few breaths just standing in Tadasana, hands at your heart space. Into the wisdom of your heart. Let's flow again. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose crunch. Inhale, sweeping the leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, rocking back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, draw the right knee to the chest. Exhale, plant the foot forward, sweep the arms back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands hold opposite elbows. Inhale, lift through the sides of the body, lift the heart. Exhale, gentle back bend. Holding for a few breaths here, really feeling and opening into the front of the chest, connecting to the front of the heart, and extend your arms back. Exhale, hands draw to heart space, gaze forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, revolve your crescent, hooking the left elbow Inhaling and exhaling, maybe opening your arms like wings extending from your heart. We're going to add on to our flow, bring the hands back to heart space. Inhale your torso to center. Press off the back foot, warrior 3. Lifting the left heel up to hip height. Keeping the crown of your head lengthening forward. Tadasana on one leg. Draw the left thigh up towards your chest. Preparing for Garudasana, eagle. Left knee crosses over the right. Left arm crosses under the right arm. Thumbs towards your face. Sitting the buttocks down. Squeezing the elbows down and towards your chest. And then we'll start to lift the elbows up towards the sky, finding a nice stretch across the back of the shoulders, opening into the back of the heart. Slowly uncurl yourself all the way back to crescent lunge with back bend, opening the arms out to the sides of the room. And then we find down dog. Optional Vinyasa. Fear is a reaction, courage is a decision. Choosing to be courageous here. Really opening into our hearts, expressing from there. Left leg lifts high, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose crunch. Inhale, rocking the left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Hover, step the left foot forward, sweep your arms back, inhaling crescent lunge, rising up, maybe heel toeing the front foot wide, exhale, hold opposite elbows, inhale, lift the chest to the sky, exhale, gentle back bend, keep lengthening the right leg long. Maybe you can extend your arms back and bring the gaze back to center. Exhale, hands together, draw them to your heart space. Revolved crescent, lengthen the spine forward first, then find your twist, hooking the right elbow, hands at heart, or maybe spreading your wings, opening up, gentle pressure of that left knee against the right elbow back against the knee to really encourage the twist through the center of your torso. Bringing the hands back together if you've opened them up. Transition into warrior 3, steady and stable through the left foot. Inhale, Tadasana on one leg, lifting the right knee up. Eagle, Garudasana, cross right leg over, cross right arm under. Draw your elbows down and towards your chest. Setting the tailbone down, keeping a gentle back bend here. Start to lift the elbows up. Uncurl, sweeping the arms down and up, finding crescent with a back bend. Exhale your hands to the mat, down dog. Holding in down dog or taking a flow. Keeping those elbows hugging alongside your waist, building some triceps. Down dog. When you're ready, we'll flow to the front of the mat, bending your knees, gaze forward, stepping or jumping, bowing inward, and rising all the way to standing. Drawing your hands down. Take a few breaths, calling those things you're grateful for. Maybe a little smile coming to your face. Release the hands down, flutter open the eyes, let's flow. Inhaling, upward salute. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. exhaling all the way to your chaturanga. Keeping elbows above the wrists, inhaling, opening the chest, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. You've got it. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, draw that right thigh high. Exhale, place the foot forward. Sweep your arms back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, catch a hold of the elbows. Inhale, draw the chest to the sky. Exhale, pause. Opening to the sky. Shoulders back, gaze up. Releasing the arms, making them an extension from the elbows. Gaze back forward. Exhale, hands to heart space. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, hook left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Open, spread your wings. Finding the bind. Maybe you can gaze up towards the top hand. Enjoying your twist. And bringing the hands back together. Inhale, torso forward. Exhale, press up. Find warrior 3 with airplane arms for a breath. Tadasana on one leg. Inhale, rise the torso up. Exhale into Garudasana, eagle, crossing the left leg over, left arm under. You can always bring the big toe of the left foot down towards the mat for extra balance. And when you're ready, lifting the elbows up, feeling an opening into the back of your heart. Sit the tailbone down a little bit deeper. Uncurl, stepping the left foot all the way back into your crescent lunge, opening the arms back up to the sky, gazing up. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Holding in down dog, or always an option to flow, moving through your vinyasa, whatever you need. Listening to your own body. Left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. Inhale to hover. Exhale, crescent lunge. Sweep the arms back. Left foot planted. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, catch a hold of the elbows. Inhale, lift the heart to the sky. Opening chest. Left knee over the left ankle. When you're ready, letting the arms be an extension from the elbows. Beautiful upper back bend. Exhale, hands back to heart space. Inhale, torso lengthens forward. Exhale to twist. Opening the hands, maybe. Keep pressing into the ball of the right foot. Keep opening the left knee towards the pinky toe edge of that left foot. Hands back to heart space. Warrior 3. Launching forward, you've got it. Inhale, rise up. Garudasana, left knee crosses over, left arm under. Sit the buttocks down. When you're ready, starting to lift the elbows up. Finding a beautiful stretch across the back of your shoulders. Keep squeezing the right hip back slightly, knees in towards the midline, and then uncurl, stepping the right foot all the way back, sweeping the arms back and up to the sky. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hands to the mat. Again, optional vinyasa. Flashing that out. Awesome work. Just reconnecting with your breath. Well earned. Coming into a little challenge now, our dolphin pose. Lower down onto one elbow at a time and maybe step your feet one step closer towards your elbows. Big opening for the shoulders here. Press out of the palms, press out of your forearms, press out of your elbows. Keeping that nice length through your spine. And your down dog, same shape, hips lifting high and back. And then maybe playing with lifting one leg at a time, lifting the right heel up towards the sky, holding for a few breaths, and then switching to the other side, lifting the left heel up towards the sky. If it's already a lot in the shoulders, just stay with the feet on the mat. And lift back up to down dog. Pressing chest back to thighs, back of the thighs to the back of the room. Holding in your down dog, or if you'd like, we're going to revolve our down dog, taking a little twist. Thread your left hand through all the way over to take a hold of the outside edge of the right leg. So maybe holding the right calf or just above the right ankle, and starting to draw your gaze underneath that right arm. And then switching to the other side. This time the left hand stays grounded. The right arm reaches across to take a hold of the outside edge of the left ankle or left calf. Gazing underneath the left armpit. Awesome work, guys. Come back to your down dog. And then let your knees drop down. Extended child's pose, keeping the arms reaching forward, your tailbone dropping back towards your heels. Starting to let all of that flow go. So we slow down our breath. Inhaling, filling your belly. Exhaling, releasing your breath. Feeling yourself melt into your mat. Inhaling, deep breath in, filling up your belly. Exhaling, maybe a sigh out of the mouth. Ourselves some time in this extended child's pose, and bringing yourself back up. You're going to come up to kneeling high on the knees, moving into Ustrasana or camel pose. So just take a few breaths, allowing blood to rush back down away from your head, kneeling upright. And then take one hand at a time to your lower back. Fingertips pointing down, press the hips forward, start to take your gaze up towards the sky, pressing the hips, maybe holding here, keeping the elbows drawing towards one another. Or maybe if full camels in your practice, letting one hand at a time drop back towards your heels, thumbs to the outside, fingertips in. Maybe the gaze can drop all the way back behind you. Camel. Big pose of vulnerability, opening into the entire front side of our body. This idea of courage having its roots in the heart. To be courageous is to be vulnerable and heartfelt. Slowly coming out of the shape, one hand at a time onto your hips, pressing the hips forward. Bringing the gaze forward and releasing down to kneeling for a moment. Taking a breath before you come back to child's pose, forehead on the mat, keeping the knees together this time, letting the shoulders just round forward. Turning your attention inward. either holding in your child's pose, or if you'd like to take rabbit pose, bring the hands to catch a hold of your heels. Start to lift the middle of your spine up towards the sky, bringing your head towards your knees and letting your head just hover up away from the mat. So little to no weight in the crown of your head, nice big rounding through your spine. Your arms are straight and strong, holding tight onto the heels, onto your heels. Forehead moving towards your knees, and then gently uncurl out of this, placing your sit bones back to your heels, uncurling the spine, resting your hands onto your thighs. Take a breath. We'll transition now to lying on our backs. Shift the hips forward so that you can lie down onto your back and hug both knees in towards your chest. Giving yourself a little squeeze and hug, a little roll side to side. Nice little massage for your lower back. We're going to prepare to come into our bridge pose, bringing your heels down towards the mat, keeping the feet hip distance apart and placing the heels as close to your buttocks as you can, palms face down alongside your hips. And when you're ready, rolling up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, lifting the hips high, pressing into the soles of your feet, pressing into your palms, and then exhale, slowly rolling back down. And either taking a second round of bridge, or if wheel is in your practice, bringing the hands overhead, fingertips towards the shoulders, pressing up onto the crown of your head, and then lifting up into full wheel. Firm, pressing down through hands and feet, lifting hips high. And if you're in your wheel, slowly bringing the top of your head back to the mat, rolling your way down, everyone coming out of bridge or wheel. And take a breath before moving into teepee with the legs. Take your feet as wide as your mat and allow your knees to knock in towards one another, creating a nice bit of opening for the lower back. Move into happy baby, taking a hold of the pinky toe edges of your feet if you can, hugging the knees down towards your armpits, and then just have a play in your happy baby. Maybe you want to extend one leg, then the other. Maybe you'd like to roll a little side to side. Maybe happy baby is just hugging the backs of your thighs down towards your chest today, or maybe it's just hugging your shins close to your chest. We release down into reclined twist. Cross your right knee all the way over the left knee. Shift your hips slightly to the right. And allow both knees to drop over to your left. Gazing back to the right hand if it feels comfortable. Otherwise, just keeping your gaze up towards the sky. Come towards the end of our practice, just keeping this feeling of gratitude washing through the body, coming back up to center and switching your twist to the other side. This time it's the left knee on top of the right. Both knees dropping down to the right side of your mat. Again, Just calling to mind those things that you can be grateful for. Be as simple as the sunshine, a nice meal, a walk to the beach. Gently coming back to center, releasing the cross of your legs, and setting yourself up into your final Shavasana. Roll your shoulder blades underneath you, let your legs go wide, taking up some space. Bringing one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. A slight dropping of chin towards the chest, letting the back of your neck be nice and long. Just let your breath do as it pleases. No need to control. Shavasana, the ultimate pose of yielding and accepting what is. Just taking this time to rest, letting the benefits of this practice wash through your body. Train your mind and heart to see the good in everything. There is always something to be grateful for. Slowly bringing your attention back, wiggling your fingers and toes, giving yourself a big yawn and stretch, reaching your arms overhead and rolling onto one side, just allowing your knees to bend, using one arm like a pillow. Taking a few breaths. When you're ready, gently pressing yourself back up, finding a comfortable seat, cross-legged, sitting up onto a cushion if you need, and bring your hands together at your heart space. Taking a few final breaths, checking in with yourself, just really acknowledging this practice and the changes that you've made, scanning from head to toe and noticing how you're feeling. Take a few deep breaths together, incorporating our arms. Gently start to flutter your eyes open. Inhaling, sweeping your arms down towards the floor and all the way up to the sky. Exhaling, drawing your hands down to your heart space. Inhaling, filling up, gazing up. Exhaling, hands to heart space. One more breath, radiating out from your heart space. Inhaling, exhaling, hands to heart space. And we just gently bow our head down to our heart. Finishing our practice. Namaste. Thank you for joining.